If you've been monitoring the latest USC football news, head coach Lincoln Riley is officially turning to Silicon Valley to save his job. According to explosive new reports, the Trojans are making a historic hire ahead of the 2026 college football season, promoting Conor McQuiston to become the sport's first ever Director of Artificial Intelligence. Now entering year 5 at Southern California without a single college football playoff appearance on his resume, Riley looked at his defensive depth chart and asked the ultimate question: can a chatbot fix our gap integrity? Is this a groundbreaking data analytics revolution that will change the Big Ten forever? Or is it just the most expensive, over-engineered Hail Mary pass by a college football coach sitting on a scorching hot seat? I am Rico Suave from the College Pigskin Hour, and in this video, we are doing a deep dive job performance preview into the absolute absurdity of a football program hiring a head coach for robots. We're breaking down the exact day-to-day responsibilities of a football AI director and the absurd metrics he actually has to get graded on. Let's establish some context here. USC didn't just decide to do this on a whim. They recently received a massive $200 million gift from alum Mark Stevens and his wife Mary, specifically for AI research. Now, when normal programs get hundreds of millions of dollars, they do standard things: build a sci-fi recovery facility, buy out a defensive coordinator's contract, or dump it directly into a collective to outbid SEC schools for 5-star defensive linemen. But USC? They decided to fund a full-scale machine learning operation. Is this a groundbreaking paradigm shift that will disrupt the sport forever? Or is it the most expensive, over-engineered Hail Mary pass in the history of gridiron coaching? Because let's be honest, when you're an offensive genius whose team keeps giving up 45 points a game on national television, telling the booster club, "Don't worry, our neural network is optimizing our gap integrity," is an elite level of job security misdirection. Because the sports world is still entirely in the dark ages of deploying neural networks to the gridiron, we did some investigative journalism and uncovered Conor McQuiston's supposed daily itinerary. If you want to know how a director of artificial intelligence actually builds an algorithmic advantage for an elite program like the USC Trojans, our inside sources say it looks exactly like this. First, advanced prompt engineering. Picture Conor sitting in a dark room at 5 a.m., slamming a Red Bull and furiously typing, "Generate a third down defense that doesn't completely collapse against a basic RPO. Style equals Nick Saban. Aggression equals high." That is peak high-efficiency data analytics right there. Second, film evaluation via autonomous agents. We know Power 4 programs are already using automated AI agents to grind through thousands of hours of recruiting tape just to spit out a scout grade. McQuiston's job is just basic calibration, tweaking the algorithm so it stops handing out 5-star ratings to recruits just because their highlight video features a high-definition trap remix of a Lil Baby song. Third, the halftime adjustments bot. When the Trojans are down 2 scores at halftime in a hostile stadium, forget drawing coverages on a traditional fight board. Instead, McQuiston will be feeding live stadium acoustics, local wind velocity, and Lincoln Riley's exact sweat gland output directly into a customized language model, all just to see if the computer thinks a screen pass on 3rd and 18 is a statistically viable idea. Every traditional coach gets graded on wins, losses, and recruiting rankings. But how do you evaluate a director of AI? What specific data points does athletic director Jennifer Cohen look at during an end-of-year review? We've outlined the official key performance indicators for this historic 2026 season. Number 1 is prompt completion percentage. Forget how many passes your quarterback completes. On this staff, it's all about the completion percentage of your prompts. If McQuiston types, "Give me a blitz package to stop Oregon," and the server times out or spits out a recipe for vegan lasagna, that's a failed drive. We need elite high-efficiency tokens per minute on every single possession. Number 2 is the hallucination rate. In generative AI, a hallucination is when a computer confidently invents a fact that doesn't exist. In college football, a hallucination is when a machine learning model tells Lincoln Riley that playing a 190-pound converted wide receiver at defensive tackle is statistically viable against Ohio State. If the model hallucinates a fake coverage, McQuiston gets an immediate charting markdown from the analyst. Number 3 is server heat management. If the physical servers hosting USC's proprietary football intelligence aren't running hot enough to heat the entire John McKay Center during a chilly November night game, are they even trying to innovate? We need to see those data center GPUs sweating more than a defensive coordinator on a blazing hot seat. Analysts are already pointing out that smaller, budget-strapped college sports programs might try to copy what USC is doing Moneyball style, using cheap open-source models because they simply can't compete for top-tier players commanding multi-million-dollar NIL packages. But let's be entirely real here. If this tech experiment actually works, Conor McQuiston is an absolute genius. By next winter, every single team in the country will be hiring a computer science major from MIT to stand on the sidelines clutching an iPad Pro. But if it fails, we get to witness the most magnificent tech bubble burst in athletic history, a $200 million stack of cash burning to the ground while a chatbot politely apologizes to boosters for misinterpreting the opponent's nickel package. Either way, we'll be right here judging every single bite of it. Hit that like and subscribe to keep up with the latest college football news. Leave a comment with your favorite AI prompt to fix the USC defense. This was Rico Suava, the voice of college football, coming to you live from our College Pigskin Hour studio in Barstow, California. Stay prestigious and good night, America.